Hello everyone, and welcome to the first ever video by the Technical Committee of MPSTME. This video is going to be tackling the subject of placements, and I feel like a lot of students who are in their first, second, and even third years have a lot of doubts and questions regarding placements, and I'd love to answer those questions in this video. So a little bit about myself. I am Parv, and I'm the current secretary of the Technical Committee, and I'm also in my final year. As a lot of you might not know this, but I'm in my final year right now, and I just recently got placed in a company called Falconry as an associate software developer. So basically, I just wanted to talk about the various steps and decisions I took throughout my engineering life, which helped me basically get a placement of over 10 lakhs per annum. Right. So now I've attached my resume in the description, and you can just go through it, and you will notice that there are mainly two things that I'm trying to show. One is my technical skills, the other is my interpersonal skills. So now when it comes to technical skills, the way you can showcase the technical skills is basically by showing the hackathons you participated in, the coding contests you participated in, the projects that you've completed, and the internships that you've completed. So now let's go in the reverse order for the technical skills. So let's start with internships. So first thing, when you do an internship as a computer science student, or if you're doing a computer science internship, you are expected to do a project. And when you work on that project, you're supposed to create documentation for it. This entire process basically makes you complete an entire project industry level per, and you work under an industry mentor, which guides you throughout the entire process. This helps you learn certain things which you don't know already. Like for example, when I did my internship, I learned the RASA framework and how it works, and along with that we also used some JavaScript components to it. This basically helped me learn JavaScript, and I already knew Django from before, and also is Rasa. So this basically helped me also learn how to deploy websites on ngrok. These are certain things which I learned during my internship. Now, other than that, now this is an internship. Now, after an internship, I talked about projects that you've done. So when you're doing projects, so what is expected of you is that you need to know in and out what you've done. So a lot of students will suggest that you should really just, download projects, or just, pick up projects from GitHub and just, name them as your own, and make some minimal changes and just pass them off as हमने किया ये project करके. This really doesn't work well when you go for interviews, because these interviewers are trained, so they will read through you like a book. So if you're someone who's copied projects and have no clue about what you've written in your code, they will know it, because they will ask you questions as to what you've done. And if you've done it by yourself, you would talk about it with more passion, you would talk about it with more interest, and you would go more in depth, and you wouldn't have to sit and think as to what you have done in that project. So that is one thing. Secondly, I would say that when you're working on your projects, try to not really abide by what's being taught in class. So for example, when I had a web programming project, a lot of my classmates were using HTML, CSS, and PHP as the backend. What you should try doing is branch off to something new. So what me and my project partner did was we decided to use Django, which was with Python. So since we were already comfortable with Python, we decided that let's just branch off into Django. And I learned Django, and that basically meant that I was well versed with a web development backend framework. And since that project that I had done really helped me solidify my skills in Django. And then I learned it again. Like I went more in depth on the side, watching YouTube videos and stuff. And that basically meant that I completed 4 projects after that within a span of 3 months in just Django, and I deployed them on Heroku. This basically shows technical skills and initiative that I myself didn't just sit there and just chilled my entire 4 years of my life during engineering. And I thought that let's just do something new, do something interesting. And I went outside my syllabus and I did that. So other than that, these are the main two things that you need to do when it comes to projects wise. Then it comes to hackathons and coding contests. So for a coding contest, basically you must have seen, I will also attach a link to all contests that are organized by our college and by our college students. So you guys have a more comprehensive idea as to what events you can participate in. And basically a coding contest is basically a sort of contest where you're given a problem statement, and this problem statement would be like a word problem, where it's like they give you some backstory, and then they'll tell you that this will be the input, this will be the expected output, and you have to write an entire program which would take that input and would give that output. And this would be for all test cases, and you need to clear all the test cases, and when you do that, you basically have answered that question. So that's how it is supposed to be done. That's how a coding contest works. Now similarly, there's a hackathon. Now a hackathon is something which is shows well better on your resume than a programming contest, in my opinion. This is mainly because even in a hackathon, you do projects, and when you do these projects, you do these in a very short span where you're given a problem statement and you make that project within 2 days, 3 days, or whatever. When you show your employer or your recruiter that you have done this, that you've participated in this hackathon here, you won this hackathon here, came second in this hackathon here, it shows that you were able to make a full end-to-end application within a very short time span, and you were able to make it the best among all of your peers. This basically puts you ahead of the entire race and puts you ahead of the entire curve. So I think that is something you should really be participating in. And I am a huge advocate of coding contests and hackathons even more so than coding contests. And coding contest is also very important, obviously, because when you go for these interviews, the precursor to these interviews are technical tests, and a lot of these technical tests are have heavy emphasis on comparative coding. So that is mainly the thing that I would suggest you guys to do. Apart from this, our college does a very good job of basically training you guys. So there are two trainings they put you through: aptitude training and technical training. And if you pay attention throughout this entire process, you would be golden at least for the aptitude training, because they do a very good job of teaching you aptitude training. The simple interest, time and work, ratio proportion, permutation combinations, questions like those are covered during your aptitude training. So there are different sections. One of them is math, the other is logical reasoning, and the third one is English. So when it comes to logical reasoning and math, the training that they give you is very good. And mainly it's, see, a lot of you guys must just think that simple interest to 10th mein hi kiya tha, right? I mean, you done it in 10th, you're right. But the thing is, there is a time constraint that you're given, so you need to get this test done within 45 minutes, an hour, sometimes maybe an hour and 30 minutes, and you have 90 questions, 70 questions depending on the company. So you are left with close to 1 minute per question. That is a very short time that you have to solve a simple interest question in the traditional manner that you're taught in 10th grade. These trainings, they put you through a very rigorous entire course that they have, and you basically learn how to do these sums and these problems very quick, and they teach you certain tricks and they give you certain tips which basically help you solve these questions very fast. So that, and also we also have a tie-up with campus credentials. So the placement committee, they have a tie-up with campus credentials, and they have an entire like YouTube, not a YouTube series, they have a website where you can go and you can watch a playlist of videos. So there are a lot of videos. So I would say if you cover it while you're training in your pre-final year, which is your third year, if you're in BTech, you would be fine. In my opinion, you would be golden when it comes to at least aptitude training. And when it comes to technical training, I told you guys to participate in hackathons, coding contests, to really passionately do projects, and to also participate and complete internships, because that will basically make you experience when it comes to the industry, and also will also give you a bunch of projects you can talk about during your interview. So now, other than that, there are the interpersonal skills. So this is basically when the company and the employer looks for how social you are, how friendly you are, and how easily you talk to people, and how easily you are able to make connections. This is something you can exhibit by basically participating in student clubs, by being a part of student committees, and basically participating in events and also organizing events. This basically just shows that you are able to work in a team, you're able to gel with people who you do not know from before. And I'm in my resume, you can see the things I participated in. I'm also gonna link my LinkedIn in the description, so you guys can also go through my LinkedIn if you guys are interested. That's pretty much it from my side, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched the entire video, be sure to drop a like, and I've also linked my LinkedIn at the bottom, so I'd love to see you guys connect. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, make sure you subscribe and smash that bell icon. Stay tuned for more such content from MPSTME Student Council's Technical Committee.